Are you ready?
Oh, yeah!
Strap yourselves in for the Gaming Hub. With your hosts, Tyler.
You can't handle the truth!
Graham.
The force is strong in this way.
And Steven.
You cannot be serious!
Let's get started.
Alrighty then.
Hey everybody, welcome into the Gaming Hub. This is episode number 117. I'm your host Tyler, saying thanks so much for joining us. And joining me, well, not you joining me for the last time, but for the last time with just one person joining, because Graham comes back next week. Steven is here with me. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Actually, I have a little funny story here. So I went to GameStop today to pick up a new battery pack for my controller, so I don't have to. Because for the last 3 weeks I've been plugged in, and it feels like it's 1998, playing wired controllers all the time. So I went to go get the battery pack, and so I went to my GameStop, and I look over the counter, and you know what I see on the shelf? There were 3 NES classics, and I'm like, I have not seen those. so I was like, you know what? I'll pick one up. So I did. I picked one up. I set it up. It's sitting right next to me on my computer. I didn't connect it to my TV because, the controller cable's 3 inches long. So I figured the computer's the next best spot to put it. And yeah, maybe get to play that a little bit at some point, and be super frustrated because it's not modern gaming. Hooray!
Yeah, I saw it at work 2 weeks ago, and I really thought about it. I almost bought it, but part of me was like, you know what? I think I'm going to get this, and I'm not going to go the Graham route on it, right? And just love everything.
Yeah.
Because Graham just loves everything except for good things, like Red Dead. But I feel like I'm going to play him and be like, this isn't what I remembered them as,
Yeah.
And I don't want that. I want to have kind of that memory playing him. Now, of course, if you put one in front of me, and I have a fair amount of expendable income at the moment, I might just be like, yeah, I'll get it. Why not? So, excuse me, I don't know. I just, I passed on it that day, and I don't know why, because a couple years ago I would have snatched it up right away. But
Yeah, I mean, I started up The Legend of Zelda, and then the first Super Mario Bros, and then Donkey Kong, and I'm like, well, this is interesting compared to the input lag is real a little bit. Now I didn't get the SNES Classic piracy, so I don't have the availability to play Earthbound, so it's just the regular NES Classic. I kind of wish it was the SNES Classic, and if I see that, I will probably pick it up. But yeah,
nice. All right, so yeah, I've got a little bit of gaming in this week, some Madden, some other stuff, but it's been a lot of other stuff going on, so it's kind of one of those weeks. But I did want to ask you one more question. Lately we started talking about movies, and I hear you might have a little bit of an unpopular opinion about a movie that you watched yesterday.
Well, I have an unpopular opinion about a couple movies. Which movie? But yeah, no. I watched A Quiet Place, and I was expecting, I've been wanting to watch this since it came in theaters, and I just never got around to it. And I waited and I waited and I waited, and then it became available for rent, but I was never in the mood. And then last night I was, and I was like, all right, let me pick it up, and I did. And I don't get why people loved it so much. It wasn't thrilling. It's kind of boring. It was easy to see where the story was going, at all times. And even the part of the foreshadowing was okay, they're going to use that later, so I know what's going to happen. It's just yeah. I was just when is it going to end? And I was frustrated because of that, because I wanted to love that movie, and I was hoping it would be thrilling and stuff, and it just really wasn't. And that makes me sad, because it got good ratings, so maybe I just watched it when I had a couple too much drinks, and maybe that's a problem. I don't know, but
yeah, I'm kind of waiting on chat and Twitch to take you to task here, but they're not, so that's good so far. But I haven't seen it yet, and I've kind of been hesitant to see it because I feel like if I bought it on the Xbox movie store or whatever, I feel like I would never watch it more than once. So you rented it, so you're glad you didn't buy it?
Yes. Yeah, and now that I rented it, don't worry, guys. If you have HBO, it's going to be available coming in the next, probably tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to be the movie that they add to HBO, because they had a movie every Saturday.
Just because you spent money on it, right?
And just because I spent $5 to rent it, it's now going to be available.
Nice.
So you're welcome, everybody.
Cool. So, yeah, a good chat going on in Twitch here about pre-ordering Red Dead 2. A lot of people are. And I think the only one who's not is Graham. So, close circuit to Graham out there. You might want to get on that. But, all right, let's get done with intros and move into the show here. But before we get into news, I want to remind everybody you can join the community. And there's a few different ways to do that. So you can head over to Facebook and go to the Gaming Hub forums. Join there. You can go to Twitch, just like everybody is in chat right now, and look up TXH Gaming Hub and hit follow. Once you're there or on Facebook, there's a link for our Discord. And if you hit that link, it'll bring you into that community as well. So if you're looking to help support the community, and we really appreciate that, because we do have a lot of goals that we want to hit. We want to grow quite a bit in the next year. And, we can't really do that without your help. So any support you give is really appreciated. It helps the community grow. But there's a couple of different ways. So on Twitch, you can hit subscribe. And if you have Amazon Prime, you get a free Twitch Prime sub every single month. And if you choose to use that on us, we'd really appreciate it. If not, use it on somebody. Help support somebody grow and get better. Other way is on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/gaminghub and become a patron of our show and our community. And for as little as $2 a month, you can get some exclusive content that we put out at least a couple times a month. We most recently did like a Star Wars episode that's patron exclusive. We did a Madden review, some other stuff too that we have done. We did an episode on Blood, Sweat, and Pixels where we talked about that. And Steven, you did a YouTube video this week.
I did.
So what was that about?
The first of many, but I did a top 5 open world games on the Xbox. So
cool. And that's exclusive to patrons, right? Right now?
Yes. Timed, but
yep.
Yes.
Awesome. So if you want that content and more, and if you're a $5 or above patron, you're entered to win a free game every single month. And we're going to be actually doing that drawing here in this show over the course of the next hour or so. So listen for that. And this won't be like a normal giveaway. Normal giveaway, if you are announced, you have to contact us to get your prize. For the patron giveaway, we'll contact you. So if you're announced, thank you first for the support, and good luck to everybody when we do the drawing later. So, all right, that's that. For all the latest and all your Xbox gaming news, go to the xboxhub.com. We are the official podcast of that site, and they have a sister site called theswitchhub.com for all the latest in your Nintendo news. And for everybody listening on Dash Radio right now, hello and welcome. We appreciate you taking the time to listen. And please join the community by all the ways we talked about. So, all right. Now, let's get into news. And, Steven, we want to talk a little more about our new friend.
Yes.
Yeah, what's his name again? Philip?
Philip Mucinex. Is that right?
I think you have the first part right. So, Philip, if you don't remember, or if you didn't listen last week, and you haven't been paying attention to any gaming news at all, he was an editor for IGN. And I was going to say he was a writer for them, but not really. He was a copy and paster for them.
Yeah.
And he was caught plagiarizing a review. He wrote a review of, I can't remember the game right now.
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells, yes. Because as we're going to talk about, there's so many more games that we've learned about. So he wrote a review for Dead Cells, and Boopstick Gaming on YouTube put up a video saying, I think IGN copied my review, like, what do I do? And it just took off and became huge. And there were some really clear parallels between the two. Well, anyway, IGN launched an investigation. They terminated him, like, the same day. And he put out a response video where, one, he took no responsibility for anything. He denied everything. He monetized the video, which, classy. Mm-hmm. And the biggest mistake he made in there was he called out, in particular, Jason Schreier from Kotaku, who had, done a lot of stories on this sort of incident. and also kind of called out the internet in general, saying, "Hey, go look, see if you can find more." So they did. And did they find anything, Steven?
Oh, only like everything.
Yeah. So tell us about that a little bit.
Well, honestly, it's probably easier to find stuff he didn't plagiarize over stuff he did, because everything was plagiarized. Even there was an article he wrote on Octopath Traveler that plagiarized the review from IGN. Yep. So someone else wrote the review for IGN, I forget who it was, and he plagiarized the writing. And
this was before he was at IGN, right? So
No. The Octopath Traveler one was while he was at IGN.
Oh boy.
He was writing for IGN. He wrote like an editorial, an op-ed or whatever, and he plagiarized the review. And that one was just extremely ballsy. And my personal favorite, though, was the one where he just copy-pasted a comment from NeoGAF into one of his like videos or something. And yeah, it's literally just reading the copy-paste from the comment.
And the sad thing is... Go ahead.
No, that was it.
Okay.
It's just
so the sad thing for me is that's really bad, but that's not my favorite. My favorite is that even his own damn resume on LinkedIn is plagiarized.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. I forgot about that.
There's anytime you look at a job application, there's like, the key essential functions of the job type thing, and they'll say all the things you need to be able to do and deliver on. He copied and pasted that from like some other company's, job requirements, and put it in under his own job performance, like listing all of his skills. Word for word. Like, no paraphrasing or anything, just word for word. And paraphrasing, by the way, is still plagiarism, if you don't give the original author credit for the idea. But this wasn't even that. This was word for word. Like, this dude is out of control. I don't know if there's anything he's ever actually written himself. Like, and IGN is at the point now where they're going and taking down everything. And I think they already have. I think they've taken down everything the guy has ever written.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. And honestly, if I'm them, I'd rather... I don't think they're going to post anything back up, even if he was... Even if it wasn't plagiarized. Just, there's no point in doing it anymore. I know they're rewriting all the... Like, a lot of the reviews he did. They're redoing that.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, there's still some stuff going on here, and I think that if he had just come out and done his video the right way and said, "Hey, I messed up, I made some mistakes, and I own up to it. I don't expect you to trust me, but I'm going to work to earn your trust again, like through YouTube, blah 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 blah." I'm not going to say he wouldn't have faced any of this, because there are some people out there that still would have looked. But he asked for it.
He did.
And now he's getting it, and he took the video down. He's basically disappeared. And, lesson learned. Everybody, I think everybody deserves a second chance. I was, when this first happened, I would have been like, hey, if he owns up and whatever, hey, down the road, he deserves a second chance if he works hard. Now, he'll never work in games coverage again, ever. This is just, it's too much, too far, and the fact that he can't be an adult and own up to it, he's acting like a child and kind of lashing out at everybody else instead of owning up to what he did. So, I wanted to talk about it one more time, just to kind of hopefully put closure on it, but who knows, there might be more. So, but yeah, we talked about it a good amount last week, and I wanted to just kind of add those additional details in. Anything else to say on that, Steven?
No.
Okay.
No, we had some jokes planned, but
yeah.
I think we'll just let this one go.
Yeah.
He's been getting dragged through the streets by everybody, so
yeah, I don't know if it's worth kicking them when they're down, all that type of thing, because I don't think it's going to get through to him anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, on to happier news.
All right.
At least we hope so. Fallout 76. When we talk about PvP and griefers, Bethesda has really made a commitment that they're going to try to help avoid this as much as they can. And they have run internally what they call, quote, asshole sessions, and encouraged everybody to be the biggest jerks possible while looking for solutions about griefing in PvP. So, out of that, they've done a few different things. So, there's a pacifist mode, which, lets you set any of your weapons so that they don't, give any damage in PvP. So what you're doing there, you're setting your own weapons to that, so you're not accidentally getting into a fight when you don't mean to. There's the thing that you can't Steven play PvP until you're level 5, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. And there's a few other things too, and Steven, I'll let you touch on them if you want to, but I think it's kind of working because this week I started to see some comments from people that don't like this at all. Because they're like, what's the point of PvP if you're not going to be able to attack other people?
Not be a dickwad.
Yeah, but those are the people that would play like that, right? So if they're frustrated, this is a good thing. And then also the fact that you can do private servers. So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, honestly, the more I hear, the more news that comes out, the more excited I am for this game. Because, I was one of those people that's worried about griefers or whatever. And now it seems like they're almost going to be non-existent, if not just, maybe a little fly that comes and bothers you and you shoot it away and then it actually leaves your house. Because it doesn't seem like there's going to be that much incentive to be a terrible human being in this game. You don't get experience for killing other players. You don't get money for doing it unless the other person is I forget what they call it, but it's basically like what happened in the Division, where if you killed too many people, you got a target put on your back.
Oh, a bounty.
And,
it's a
bounty. And then now there is bonuses for killing the people that have bounties on them. So there will be people that want to get bounties just to have other people come after them and then see how long they can last. And that might be fun, But it doesn't seem like even if you're playing the game and you get trolled by someone, and if you're on pacifist mode, if they kill you, you have the option to turn you won't show up in their session. So you'll still be in the world, but you won't show up on any maps or anything for them. And that's how I read it, at least. So you don't have to deal with them ever again. Whereas I can see of Thieves, when we got trolled, they kept trolling us for a long period of time, Tyler.
Oh,
you remember that?
Yes.
So this seems like it's fighting those people, and it's gonna make them not. There's not gonna be a lot of reason to do it because you can only troll some people basically once, and I'm now really excited for this game more than I was back during E3, for sure.
Yeah, and they've also recently called out Sony on the crossplay front directly, and you know how other companies will put together the carefully worded statements. Something that's while we wish everyone was around crossplay, we're still going to try to deliver the best experience we can. Something like that. This one, no. Todd Howard came out and called them out directly for saying they're really disappointed in them for not allowing crossplay. Did you think there was any chance that was going to happen?
Well, I mean, Bethesda is a big company, a big AAA company, third party, and if Sony keeps doing stuff like this, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but you're gonna see a lot more Microsoft exclusive advertising deals, I'd think.
Yeah, that could be.
Because they're not gonna want to work with Sony if Sony doesn't want to work with them on this. Because in other Bethesda news, the Elder Scrolls Legends games. Right now, they're saying that it needs crossplay, and so what they're implying is if PlayStation doesn't allow crossplay, it's not coming to PlayStation.
Yeah, and they haven't said that, but it might not. And what they've officially said is that they'll cross that bridge kind of when they get to it.
Yeah,
but they're trying to put pressure on right now.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if Sony's actually going to give, because they didn't give for Fortnite, and tell me the last time there was a game as big as Fortnite. It's been a long time.
Yeah, but I think your hardcore gamers. Well, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. It's hard to speculate here, because Fortnite is really big, but I almost wonder if those are new people playing, like people that don't normally play a lot of other games. Because you talked about someone that plays Fortnite and never played games before that.
No, and still doesn't play anything else. It's just Fortnite. But yeah, here's why I think that might have had a bigger impact though, because you're like quote hardcore gamers. They're the fanboys. They're the ones who either love Sony or they love Microsoft, and nothing's really going to change their mind on that. Whereas these casual gamers, if they hear like, oh, if you get it on this system, you can play against anybody anywhere, pretty much, except for one. And if you get it on this other one, you can only play people from there, and they won't allow you to do that. A lot of people will be like, well, that's stupid. I'm just going to get it on this then. Because if I get it on Switch or I get it on Xbox, I can play against pretty much anybody that's not on PlayStation. So, I think it might have a bigger impact with the casual crowd, but, I mean, we'll see. Time will tell. On Fortnite, it's not going away anytime soon. I just wonder what it's going to take to get Sony to break on this.
Yeah, did they ever unlock the accounts for people that wanted to play on? I didn't think they did. So, and you were right when you said, like, Sony's just kind of waiting for the storm to die down, and it did. It died down. People stopped complaining about it. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a case of they stopped complaining because they just assumed it would never fix anything, because after, like, 2 weeks, all right, if it hadn't happened by now, I'm just wasting my breath, being a dead horse type of thing.
Well, I mean, it's the same approach parents take with, like, a baby when they're crying, right? They'll tire themselves out eventually, right?
Yep.
So, it's, and it works, because every time people make an uproar about this, and then 2 weeks later we're talking about something else, right? Right now, what are we talking about with Sony that has everybody excited? Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, in, 2 weeks when that game comes out, or 3, it's going to be all positive vibes around them again. So,
well, I think that's kind of missing the point of the argument. I don't think anyone's saying because of this Sony doesn't make good games. I think everyone knows Sony makes good games. It's just Sony also does things that, they say they're for the player, but then they don't offer things that, a player might want, like crossplay or like access to EA access or backwards compatibility, stuff like that. But I don't want to go down that road because we're talking about Fallout. But so let's go back to Fallout here, and I'm excited for this. I am, and I wasn't, and now I can't wait for November when the game comes out. I'm
becoming more and more optimistic for this as we go.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
I think we talked about it last week because I think it came out last week. But since we're since private servers are going to be a thing, we're going to have one. Assuming they have them on the Xbox, because it might be PC only, but we're gonna have one. So if you guys are interested in that, join our communities. And speaking of which, Tyler, Minecraft, we should probably talk about that real quick.
So you're in there more than I am. So why don't you give a brief rundown of kind of what is happening in there? And I hate talking about this stuff, everybody. I do. I want our community to be drama-free.
Yes.
But go ahead, real briefly.
So, I don't know if this was in regards to something someone else did, because we had a member of our community whose son got on and accidentally did some damage and stole some stuff. And he, owned up to it, and he is not...
He did the anti-Philip, right?
Yes. And he tried to restore as much as possible, so it may not have been perfect, but someone then decided to be a dick and started destroying things throughout different, they destroyed my house, they destroyed a couple other people's houses. And so now we're going to take the approach, and we didn't want to have to do this, but we're kind of there. If you are not an active member of Facebook and or Discord, you can choose one or the other. It doesn't matter. But that's going to be the new route to getting into Minecraft. Yeah. And if you don't send us a message saying you want to stay in the realm, we're going to end up removing you out. And then you can get back in. This isn't a ban because we don't know who did it. And if you did do it and it was kind of in response and, make your...
Well, I think there's no doubt it was in response based on the signs that were left.
Yeah, well,
So
that's
me.
true. So just own up to it, and we'll think about it. I don't want to go either way, but guys, we're here to create a positive gaming community that's kind of troll free. That's what we want. We want people to have fun and enjoy their time in the world and have trust in everything, and stuff like this kind of sucks. So that's what we're gonna do now. So if you guys want to stay in, if you are not in Discord and or Facebook, like, just join them. Discord is super easy. You don't have to.
And there's a dedicated Minecraft channel there, so it's honestly the better option. But either one's fine.
Give it a go too. You might find you like it, because me and you, Tyler, we were hesitant when we created it. We were like, "Ooh, we don't know about this Discord stuff," but we found out we love Discord more than Facebook. And I used to be on Facebook all the time. Now I spend way more time in Discord. Yep. So,
and I'll say one thing on this, and I'll take it a little bit of a step further. So I'm going to say this. Like Steven said, we created this community to be a positive gaming community for people to come in and have that drama-free experience without all of that stuff. And I made essentially this post in Discord today. This started when a mistake happened, and somebody's young child went in and did a little damage, and that stuff happens in life. It just does, and they didn't know better, and the person owned up to it right away. They put their kid in timeout in their room for it. I thought that was kind of funny, actually. But excuse me, it was a mistake, and we talked it through in Discord. Everybody kind of agreed, hey, no biggie, whatever. Let's work together and get it put back together. One person clearly decided that's not the route they wanted to take. And I'm going to say this right now. Anybody who doesn't want to contribute to a positive gaming community can go join a different community. That's honestly where I'm coming from. And if you're the one who did it, out of anger or spite or whatever, come on. And
real quick, I think that's the reason. That's the reason we're doing the Discord, Facebook, because what I bet happened is they're not a member of those, so they didn't see that was the reason something got destroyed, and then go from there. So if you did it, apologize. Let's move on. But I'm with you, Tyler. Positive gaming here, trying to create a fun community for everybody.
Yep, and like I said, there's other communities out there where taking the opposite approach of that, you'll fit right in. But that's not what we're about, so, hopefully just a huge misunderstanding, and we all move on and have a good time, right? So that's basically all I'm going to say on it. But in the future, like Steven said, we want everybody in Discord or Facebook, just so the communication's there. It's not to build our numbers or anything like that. It's just so there's the communication if there's anything going on. So we don't have these misunderstandings, which I hope it was. And then on the flip side of that, any future incidents like this are just going to result in an immediate ban. And not a timeout, and not talking about it, not sharing feelings, where it's over. So that's all I'm going to say. All right, back to video games.
All right.
Let's talk about Microsoft for a second. So at E3, they announced that they're opening all these new studios, right? And everybody's excited. So their Santa Monica studio is a brand new studio, and they're in the process of hiring people right now. And they acquired what we hope are some pretty big names. They acquired the producer from God of War and a writer from Red Dead Redemption, the original. And that's some pretty good talent to bring into your team. And what I want to ask you, Steven, is A, is it exciting? I hope the answer is yes to that. But B, does this give any sort of indication of what kind of game we might see?
Yeah. I think we're going to see a big open world God of War-ish maybe type game. Something like that. I don't think it's going to be a racing bro shooter game that Microsoft's known for. I think with all their studios they've picked up recently, E3, they announced 4 or 5 new studios. Well,
5,
including the Hellblade, they acquired that, right?
Yep, Ninja Theory and
yeah.
some others. Yep.
So I think they're branching out, and I still think I think it was you that said it. I think a lot of this is going to be coming next generation.
Yeah, we're talking launch titles.
I'm really, really excited to see going forward what's going to happen. I mean, it sucks that like we bought our Xbox Ones hoping for some good exclusives, and we maybe didn't get as much as we wanted, at least comparatively speaking. But moving on. I like where Microsoft's headed here. They're doing a lot of good things. They're showing they care, and that's kind of what matters after the problem that was launch Xbox One. So I like what I'm seeing, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what we're gonna get, and I hope I love Fable, but I want to see a new IP. So, and I think the Santa Monica studio is gonna give us a new IP.
Yeah, I agree. And on the topic of first party games, like I think we saw some decent first party games in the first half of the generation from Microsoft. But all the cancellations and delays and stuff that they had with other games, like Scalebound, for example, Fable Legends.
That one hurts.
That's
Scalebound. Okay.
Yeah. That's really thrown a wrench, though, in their release schedule and slate over the back half of the generation.
Yeah.
Not to mention Crackdowns had to be delayed how many times?
7,000.
Yeah, so... And now it's like done, and it's not coming out for another 5-6 months. So, yeah. But... here's what I'll give them a ton of credit for, though. Microsoft has been open to feedback and criticism, and they've learned from their mistakes and worked to correct them. Whereas not many of the other big console makers can say the same thing. Well, at least one other one. Because I think Nintendo learned from the debacle that was the Wii U.
Yep.
Yeah. And they did something totally different and better. But... Microsoft has learned from the launch of the Xbox One. They made changes. They've become super community friendly. They listen to feedback. There's the site where people suggest, updates and things. They suggest backwards compatible games, things like that. And Microsoft's really receptive to all that stuff. And then, rather than crawl into a hole and go silent when the criticism started about lack of first party and lack of types of first party games... Because even when they do get first party out, it's like you said, it's racers and bro shooters. And they are good games, but that's all there is. So they have done a really good job at responding to that, and they responded with 5 new studios in their family. Like, that's significant. That's listening to your community, and it's making changes, and stuff like this isn't a quick fix. You don't make a first party game in like 2 months.
Yep.
In fact, if you ever watched the E.T. documentary... that's what went horribly wrong there. Remember they tried to build that game in, was it 4 months or something?
Yeah, it was a very small amount of time.
Yeah, and now they're all in a landfill in New Mexico.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's what happens if you try to rush stuff. So, I think, I wonder, Steven, if this is going to be the next Fable game.
I don't think so. I don't think so?
I know that's
think
the
it'll
rumor.
be a new IP.
I'm with you. I would like to see the Xbox version of God of War. Not a ripoff of it, but something in that genre.
Yeah.
And I think that they could pull that off here. And if you mix, the best parts of Rockstar's gameplay and storytelling with that, man, that would be something special, I think, if they can pull it off. So, anyway, anything else to say on that?
No, I'm absolutely with you there.
All right, cool. So, one other thing in Xbox news, we do have Gamescom next week, so exciting. And the new Xbox Elite controller that we're rumored to hear about there is codenamed Washburn, and it's reportedly releasing in October. So we'll hear more about it at the show for Gamescom. And I think the Inside Xbox is on the Tuesday or Thursday? But Steven will be up at the early hour of 6 in the morning Pacific to watch that, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So, but it's being done live from Gamescom in Germany. And I know we talked about this before, but outside of E3, that's the one conference I'd love to go to. That would be awesome to get to go there and be part of that. It's basically the E3 for Europe. But Microsoft won't be doing a stage conference this year. It's going to be an Inside Xbox. It'll be live, but you'll be able to catch it on demand on the console or YouTube or whatever. But looking forward to seeing what's announced, because I think we're going to see more than just this hardware, which we think is a controller. We're going to see a lot of Crackdown. We'll see some other stuff too. So, any thoughts? Are you going to get a new Elite controller if that's what it is?
No, I didn't even buy the first one. I don't know what they do to the second Elite, like the next Elite, that would make it any different, unless they made the buttons stronger. We'll see.
Maybe they'll, watch. The big thing will be that now you can do the Xbox Labs thing where you can get it colored different colors. That'll be it, Steven. And then we'll get Graham. You know what Graham's theme will be?
Purple Rainbow Unicorn.
Purple Rainbow Unicorn. It will. But only if you can connect it to Switch to play Virtual Console when that comes out someday.
Yeah, only.
So, but the big news, I think, isn't so much the controller. It's that Gamescom's next week, and we'll probably have a lot to talk about as we hear all the stuff that comes out of that.
Well, we hope. There'll be a lot.
But there usually is. Like, EA does something there, but I'll be honest, like, half of it, they talk about FIFA. And it's appropriate because it's for that audience. Like, they love FIFA there.
Yep.
And FIFA's bigger there than Madden is here. So, that's appropriate. But we'll see a lot of Battlefield, probably. And we might see Anthem. So that'd be cool. All right. Actually, before we move into the Nintendo stuff, Steven, do you want to do our patron giveaway?
Yeah, let us do that here. So, we had quite a few entries. Definitely appreciate all y'all doing that. And the winner of our first Patreon giveaway is Damien S. Because I can't pronounce your last name, and I don't really...
we got a couple in there that are like, man, there's something.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't want to, announce your last name, but you know who you are. No. There's only... Yeah. So we'll contact you. And Tyler, you want to tell him what his choices are?
So you're going to win a full $60 game, and here's how it's going to work. So it's got to be something that released within either the last 30 days or the next 30 days. So, and the reason for that is we don't want like everybody asking for like Fallout 76 because like we're human beings with jobs, right? And if we have to send out like 6 copies of Fallout 76 in November, like we'll have to buy 6 copies of Fallout 76 in November. And while Graham probably already has 6 copies of Fallout 76, I don't want to ask him to give them all away. So something that came out in the last 30 days or the next 30 days. So you'll be able to pick from things like Madden. You'll be able to pick from No Man's Sky. You'll be able to pick from Spider-Man. And I know there's other stuff coming out here shortly, so I think Destiny falls into that, doesn't it? The Destiny expansion. So
yeah,
there's
and
a lot of stuff.
All the sports titles too.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, like if you really want NHL, NHL will fit into that actually. So, and if you really, really want like FIFA, like actually, FIFA comes out earlier this year, so yeah, we'll be able to do any of those. So. We'll be in contact with you. Congratulations on winning in this stuff. We'll be doing every single month for our patrons at the $5 higher level. So if you'd like to be entered, and by the way, next month is when, man, there's going to be some good titles. We're going to be able to pick from things like Call of Duty, Battlefield. I don't think we'll be quite in Red Dead territory yet, although we might include that. We might do it later in the month just to be able to include that. And plus all the other stuff from September. So, all that. All right. But congratulations again, and thank you to everybody who supports our community through Patreon. We appreciate it more than you could know. So, all right. What's next here? We have Nintendo stuff, Steven. Excited.
With no
Diablo
Graham
3
here.
Diablo 3 is coming on the Switch later this year. They didn't give a specific date. But that is coming later this year. Are you going to buy Diablo 3 again?
No, Nope, absolutely not. Graham will, though.
He will. And I won't lie, I'm sort of kind of tempted. I don't think I'm going to. But I'll tell you, the first time I played it, I played with somebody who had already played through 4 times. And I felt like I was just sort of the passenger. Because he was so like overpowered and just mowing through everybody, and I'm there like trying to, you know, beat like one guy. So I don't feel like I got the full experience, and that's what kind of tempts me. Plus, I think Switch is a good platform for it. But I don't think I'll get it again. There's just too much stuff this fall.
Yeah.
So, on that same note, though, for Nintendo, Dark Souls, excuse me, is coming out on October 19th on the Switch. Will you be getting this?
Also, no, I bought the remaster on the Xbox, so I'm good there. I don't need to break my Switch. I don't play it undocked anyway, so I only buy the Switch. I only have the Switch for Nintendo exclusives, basically, because I never pull it out of the dock. But yeah, if you're interested in playing games undocked, then I'm sure Dark Souls would be a game that'd be for you. I really am curious how Blighttown would run undocked. Really, really, really curious, because that had many problems. Though they fixed it in the remaster, it was fine when I went through it on the Xbox. So we'll see.
Okay. And then wrapping up here for PlayStation is the Blackout beta for Call of Duty. I keep wanting to say Modern Warfare 4, Black Ops 4 is coming on September 10th, and that is also tied to pre-order. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And it's coming to the other consoles later in the month.
Is it the same where they're doing like 7 days again?
No, they don't have the release yet for the Xbox and PC.
So,
but it said it's coming.
Yeah, but for PlayStation, it'll be on September 10th, and I'm guessing, again, PlayStation players will get a longer time to play with it, and then, like, on Xbox, you'll get a little bit shorter experience. I think Xbox got, like a weekend or 4 days, and PlayStation got, I think, 10 days, if that sounds right. So, with the beta. So, Steve, you didn't play the beta, I don't think, but you did jump back into Call of Duty recently.
Yes.
What were your thoughts?
Well, we started with one match of Blops 3, and then we quickly moved back to World War II, because I haven't played Blops 3 in a long, long time, and I forgot about the wall running and having to look up and everything, I could not do it, and I'm like, you know what, I want to play World War II. And I played for longer than I expected, for sure. I'm kind of excited for Blops 4. Kind of, like, I'll play more Call of Duty than I have in a long time, I think, but it's going to be nowhere near the amount I played back when Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, and then the first two Black Ops, so.
Yeah, but you'll jump in and stream some, and I do want to give a shout-out to a member of our community, Brandon goes by Piracy in our community. He's volunteered to kind of come on and help stream for us a little bit and provide more content there a couple days a week, and I know he's a big Call of Duty player, so he'll probably be playing some of that. And, we really appreciate that. So watch on Twitch. And we'll be posting a Twitch schedule. Once Graham gets back, we're going to hammer all this out. So there's a steady and consistent schedule for everybody to sort of count on. But we do appreciate Piracy coming in and helping out and helping provide more content for the community. That's hugely appreciated. So thank you. All right. Anything else, Stephen, in news that you want to cover before we move on?
Nope.
All right, fantastic. So thank you for that. Deep input. Appreciate it. We'll move into releases. And let's start with Xbox. So this week, there is a Shenmue game coming out this year. Who would have known?
2 of them, actually.
2 of them. You get Shenmue 1 and 2 on the 21st. You get Brawl Out on the 21st. And, Stephen, I know you're excited for F1 2018 on the 24th.
Game of the year.
I'm sure. So, but, Shenmue 1 and 2 is probably considered a pretty good release. I never played them, so I don't know. And I can't say I'm going to go out and buy this. There's just, I'm in a holding pattern right now. I'm enjoying Madden quite a bit, so I'm playing that. And I'm in sort of holding pattern for all the other stuff, bracing for all the releases this fall. So, don't think I'll pick that one up. But, Steve, why don't you tell us what's coming on? Or actually, real quick, Games with Gold. You can get Death Squared. Actually, Death Squared's gone now, so apologies for that. But Forza Horizon 2, you can pick up through the 31st. And, not a bad idea. Start getting ramped up for Forza Horizon 4. And then Dead Space 3
is also gone.
That's also gone. Dang it. So, but Forza Horizon 2 is available for you to get. So apologies for having outdated games on there. But Steven, why don't you go with PlayStation, and I'll in the process of that get the right games.
Yeah. Okay, so on the 21st, all 3 games come out on the 21st. You can get Brawlout, Guacamelee 2, and Shenmue 1 and 2. And then PS Plus games through the end of the month, you can get Mafia 3 and Dead by Daylight. And then going into the Nintendo side of things, on the Switch, on the 20th, you can get Spectrum. On the 22nd, you can get The Escapist 2, The Glorious Regime. And also, and then on the 23rd, you can get Hollow Knight Godmaster, which I assume is their new expansion for an amazing game. So check that out.
All right. On the Games with Gold front, we'll get to the right stuff here. So, For Honor, the Standard Edition, is available now through September 15th on the Xbox One and through backwards compatibility. Steven, are you going to get this? Disney Epic Mickey, The Power of Two, from August 16th to the 31st.
Is water wet?
Yeah? All right, cool. Well, you'll have fun with that then. But those are the updated and correct Xbox Games with Gold titles. Apologize for that. All right. Let's talk about some questions. And we have a lot. So thank you, everybody, first of all, for sending questions in. Really appreciate it. We have a huge backlog that we'll get to, and we'll probably do some of these on Twitch at some point. And, just start kind of getting through them. And apologies if we don't get to yours right away. I know we've had a couple people mention in Discord, hey, I ask this every week. And, apologies. We always don't have time to get through everything. And this week we have about 13 minutes to get through questions. So what do we got?
All right. So first question from Nick the Bearcat. Has there been a game that made you cry because of the emotional story or the sheer happiness of beating it? And also, I'm going to throw Alpaca Man's question there too, because he asked, what game has moved you the most emotionally? So they're kind of two similar questions, so we'll put them together here.
Yeah, and one for me that I was thinking on this for a while, and then I started thinking about big games, but Call of Duty doesn't make me tear up, and Madden doesn't make me tear up, and things like that. Your bigger AAA games generally don't do that. I didn't get far enough in The Last of Us to be able to say that did or didn't. But I will throw out a couple that, at the end, at least sort of had an impact on me. One was this game called Valiant Hearts that released, I think, 4 years ago. And that was based on, World War I and kind of told the story of, soldiers' experiences on both sides of the war. And it was very, very well done, and the ending was pretty rough. And actually 2 more now that I can think of. The Walking Dead Telltale Season 1, the ending of that was very well done, and it was a pretty emotional ending. And then the first 10 minutes of Ori and the Blind Forest, I thought was really well done and pretty powerful emotionally. So I would say those 3.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on Ori, that the first half and then just the whole game. It's an amazing, phenomenal game. But for me, I think it'd have to go with Lost Odyssey, and it wasn't necessarily for the main overarching story, but they had these little vignettes that are in the middle of the game that you can find that are short stories. They're actually the memories of the main character Kime, and some of those are they're really well written. They're emotional short stories. I'd probably have The Last of Us on here if I got farther than 3 hours into the game. So, we'll skip that for now. But yeah, Lost Odyssey would be mine, just for the short story, memories, sequences, things.
Okay, yeah. And I'll throw into honorable mention for the first Unravel. I thought the story there was pretty powerful at times, and without a word being spoken in the entire thing. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. When I was looking through the picture book, I almost mentioned that. The picture book after I'd beaten the game, seeing how the story was kind of told through that, that got a little sad.
For sure.
All right. So, next question from Comrade Bro. He asks, who do you think has spent the most hours gaming in general? And what game have you put the most hours in?
Okay, so I think the first question, Steven, the answer is probably me.
You think?
Yeah. Are you in agreement or no?
I want to hear your reasoning before I agree or disagree.
Well, because, okay, so Graham is... Well, first of all, both Graham and I are older than you are.
Yes, that's the only reason I would think that you guys have
second,
more hours in.
So, second, like, Graham has gone through phases, like, in his life where he just didn't play video games for years. And, you know, he's talked about that on the show before. Or he, like, didn't play as much. And now he plays, like, daily. But that wasn't always that way. And really the only time I can remember that I ever really, like, took off of video games was maybe, like, at the very beginning of the OG Xbox / PS2 generation. Because I got an OG Xbox, like, halfway through. And then I got the 360 on day one. And I got the Xbox One on day one. So... And before that, I had a PS1 and, like, Sega Genesis and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think with that, and then a game I'd probably put the most time into, that's a really good question. There's a chance it might be World of Warcraft, actually. It might. I also put in, like, a stupid amount of time into some Madden games throughout the years and NHL games throughout the years. So, those would be the ones for me.
Yeah. You probably do beat me on sheer numbers just because you're older, but I think it's closer than you think it is. Because there was
I'm not saying it's, like, far and away. I'm just saying that that's probably the case.
Back in like, high school and even before then, where I just played video games every, like, free moment of the day. Because I didn't do homework in high school because, you know, I could pass all the tests, so I was like, why do I need to do this? This is dumb. So I played video games a lot, and I haven't really stopped since. And you know, maybe I'm being biased here, Tyler, but you play like 5 minutes of video games a week. You spend most of it just talking.
No, yeah, I know, and I'd love to sort of change that. But so behind the scenes, everybody, what ends up happening is, like, during the week, we're all messaging each other. We use, like, Facebook Messenger, and we're in a group chat there, and we're messaging each other, like, when are you getting on Xbox? And, you know, it's usually around, like, 7 o'clock my time that we're all sort of on. And then we're like, cool, you want to play anything? And we're like, And then we just start talking, and all of a sudden it's like 10 o'clock and time to go to bed. But, yeah, that's generally how it goes. But then Graham's playing something always. Like, Graham went through his Rocket League phase, and then when the NHL beta was there, and then when he gets back now, he hasn't played Xbox in, like, 3 weeks. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And
see,
going nuts.
The reason I don't play when we play is because if I'm playing a game, or I don't play while we talk, is because I'm playing a game and I'm trying to listen to something in the story, and these two are talking to me, and I'm, like, not paying attention to them. And then they get all mad when I ask them to repeat themselves because, you know, they're talking during the middle of a cutscene. Come on, Tyler. But no, to answer the second question, the game I spent the most hours in it's a toss-up between Star Wars: The Old Republic and Smite, because I have a lot of hours into both.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
What else we got?
Next question from Nuka asks, what do you like to collect as video game merchandise, if any?
So I don't do a lot of collecting yet, but I think, like, when I get to that point where I start to, it's probably going to be a bunch of the statues. Like, I really like that stuff. Like the Premier Edition type statues, so stuff from, like, Halo and Gears of War, things like that. I'd be all about that.
Yeah. For me, it's the guides. Like, I don't know if those technically count as merchandise, but a lot of the guides have, like, amazing artwork in it, and a lot of them even have sections just for the artwork, and I really like looking at the art books. So I guess art books could be another thing, but yeah, the guides, because they kind of serve dual purposes, especially for your big open world games. Like any Bethesda game, like, I like having the guide for.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually curious how they're going to do the guide for Fallout 76 because of the way that game is, or if there even will be one. But I'll think about picking it up. But yeah, that's my question. That's my answer.
Cool.
And then KC, kind of on that topic, asks, "What's your opinion on collector's editions? Do you buy them, or are they just crap added to the game to get more money?"
Well, sometimes they are and sometimes they're not. Sometimes there's some really cool stuff in there. But I generally buy games digitally, so my answer would be no, I don't buy them. Although I did buy... Well, I don't remember which Call of Duty game it was. Or yeah, it was Black Ops, because it came with the RC car. And my dog, who's older now, he was younger at the time, so full of energy and all that stuff, and that would be used to torment him sometimes. And he'd run, and then he'd chase after it and bark at it, and then it would move, and he'd run away again. And yeah, it was a little game. But yeah, I bought that, and I think I got the one with the night vision goggles too, whichever one that was. So yeah. I've gotten some of them, just not many, and especially now that digital purchases are basically what I do. I don't buy that many anymore.
Yeah, I used to, and I still do for some of the RPGs I like I did for... Mm-hmm. I bought the deluxe edition for Final Fantasy, and then the deluxe edition for Persona 5, and then the deluxe edition for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But a lot of the stuff, it just kind of sits there, and I don't ever use it. I had the little Morgana plush doll, and I don't even know where it is, to be honest with you. Somewhere in my room down here. And... the soundtrack I have, it's sitting still wrapped, and then the art book, that is open and on my bookshelf. But, it honestly depends, but I think a lot of it is just junk, and I, kind of talk myself into getting it, and then I wonder why I did.
See, this is more of a Graham question, because Graham, has multiple Pip-Boy editions. He gets stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, I almost wonder if he buys collector's editions though for any other game, or if it's just the Fallout games that he does, because he gets cool things with Fallout. The Fallout stuff, you get a Pip-Boy or you get a power armor helmet. That's actually pretty cool. And I think Dishonored 2, you got the Corvo mask, and that's pretty cool. So, but those also cost a lot of money. Whereas the Persona 5 one's $20 more for the soundtrack and stuff. So.
Yeah, whereas some of those others are $250.
Yeah.
So
I mean, what do you think of Red Dead Redemption's collector's edition that doesn't even come with the game? And Mass Effect did it too with their RC.
Battlefield 1 did that.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
It came with a case for the game, so great, but a steelbook. But it did include the game. I think that's pretty bogus. I think don't do that. Just include the game in any sort of big collector's edition like that. That's just my thoughts, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Rockstar announced a reasoning behind it, and it actually kind of made sense. I don't remember what it was off the top of my head, but there was a reasoning why they didn't add the game to their new $100 collection.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you buy that. Someone will buy that, but not me.
So we got one more.
All right. Well, speaking of Red Dead, let's just go down the list with Captain Chronic's question. What are the 3 things you're looking forward to the most in Red Dead Redemption 2?
The story, the environment. I think Rockstar is so good at building a world that is alive and just unique and all that stuff. I don't know if there's anybody better. Bethesda's really good at it too. And then I'm really interested in the online aspect. I want to see what it is. So it'd be those 3.
Well, I'm going to go a little more in depth, I think.
Okay.
I am curious how this horse bonding thing, and I had to watch the word there because I could have gone a whole different route. But the horse bonding thing, how you're going to be able to befriend the horse, and how it's actually going to affect the gameplay, if it's actually going to be good or just something they added in for no reason. And I'm excited to see all the different mini games, or I guess you could call them that. Red Dead 1 had Liar's Die, poker, and the knife thing on top of shootouts or whatever. So I'm curious to see if they're going to add more stuff. Because Grand Theft Auto 5 had a lot of new stuff. And then lastly, I'm really interested, and we talked about this last week a little bit, on how your interaction with your fellow gang members is going to shape the story. If you choose to spend time doing your chores and hanging out and doing their side missions, which I will because I'm just a sucker for like 100%ing story type games. Like, I don't like collecting like 50 feathers like in Assassin's Creed, or was it Grand Theft Auto 4? But I'll do the story, all the stories and all the side quests, and I'm really curious to see how that shapes out. So those are the 3 things I'm most excited for, I think.
Okay.
Plus online as well.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all the time we have for questions, everybody. And let's get out of here, Steven. We're right at an hour right now. So don't want to go too far over for our friends at Dash Radio. But we want to thank everybody for joining us for episode 117. Congratulations again to our winner from our Patreon giveaway. We'll be contacting you this week. And if you want to get in on that and have a chance to win with all the huge games coming out, there is one way to be entered. And that is to go to patreon.com/gaminghub and become a patron of our community and our show at the $5 or up level every month, and you're entered for a monthly giveaway of a full $60 game that we'll do once a month. So this was our first one today. We'll do another one next month. There's ways to join our community. Go to Facebook and look up the Gaming Hub forums and go to Twitch and look up TXH Gaming Hub there. Hit follow, and from either Facebook or Twitch, you can find our link for Discord. Go join our Discord community and take part in the conversation there. So, with that, for Steven, I am Tyler saying thank you so much for joining us. This has been episode 117. We'll be back next week with 119 because we're going to have a special episode coming out during the middle of the week next week for everybody, but that we've already recorded. But until then, thank you so much, and Graham will be back next week, so yay. But we'll talk to you soon. Next week, next probably Friday or Saturday for 119. Have a great week, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye.